What is up, YouTube? It is your boy NMR Sports here, coming back with another video on MLB free agency. Obviously, we all heard the news that Nolan Arenado has been traded, or is about to finally be traded, to the St. Louis Cardinals for virtually no top prospects, and they're actually paying to send him over to St. Louis. So we'll talk all about that in just a second. Maybe some other moves that the Rockies could make to make their future a little bit brighter. Obviously, they're kind of screwed for the next few years because of how good the top of the NL West is. Now, before we get into the video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers by opening day. I think we can reach that goal. It's going to be tough, but I believe in us. Follow me on Twitch. I stream very frequently. I stream MLB The Show, and we talk all about different trade rumors and stuff that's going on around MLB and other sports. And also be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, where I tweet all these new deals as they come out and tweet my reactions before I make these videos. I do have another MLB The Show video that I'm coming out with you guys hopefully tomorrow, so stay tuned for that as well. And let's get into the video. Talk about these Rockies. All right, so the Colorado Rockies have traded Nolan Arenado over to the St. Louis Cardinals in exchange for a few different pitchers. One of them was Austin Gomber, who's a major league ready player, but not a super high prospect. John Torres, who's their number 9 prospect in the Cardinals organization, not even close to the top 100 in baseball, and Jake Woodford, who I'm not really sure, and then they might throw in a few other guys. But the Rockies sent over Nolan Arenado and $50 million. Now, this makes me a little bit surprised. Obviously, it's a very low price tag for one of the best players in all of baseball. But at the end of the day, the Rockies aren't typically known as a team that spends a ton of money on their team, and Nolan Arenado has a huge contract with an opt-out after next year, so I don't think it was really that they were scared he was gonna opt out next year. It was maybe a fear that he wouldn't opt out after next year, because obviously he's guaranteed a ton of money, so there's really not a reason for him to opt out of that, but he would be stuck in Colorado, and Colorado would be stuck with a bad team with a superstar player, kind of like Mike Trout if he was on an even worse team. And obviously in the NL West, they have no shot in hell at competing with the Dodgers and the Padres. So this was kind of a smart move in theory for the Colorado Rockies to trade Nolan Arenado. They should have got some more back though. I just can't believe they didn't get a top 100 prospect back. They didn't even ask for Dylan Carlson or Nolan Gorman, or even Matthew Libertar. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Yeah, Matthew Libertar or whatever. They could have got so much more in return for Nolan Arenado, or at least I think so. But this kind of raises the question, what are they going to do with guys like Trevor Story and German Marquez? If I'm the Rockies, I am selling everything I can right now to get a bunch of top prospects back. Now, with this move, the St. Louis Cardinals, in my opinion, probably become the favorite in the NL Central. Obviously, no team really did anything this offseason until the last few days, where the Cubs go out and sign Jock Peterson, and then the Cardinals just say, hold my beer, and go out and get Nolan Arenado. Looking at the Cardinals roster, not a whole lot of these names scare me, but as I said, having Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado at the corners is absolutely phenomenal. I saw somebody comparing Nolan Arenado and Goldschmidt to Matt Chapman and Matt Olson. Not even close. Matt Chapman and Matt Olson do not hold a candle to Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. They're so much better duo. Nolan Arenado is probably the best defensive third baseman in all of baseball, and he might even be the best offensive third baseman in all of baseball. We're gonna have to see. Obviously, everyone talks shit about him because of the Coors Field effect, but I think he'll be just fine in St. Louis. And then Paul Goldschmidt has the potential to be an MVP candidate every year. He hasn't had much success with the Cardinals yet, but he also hasn't had a lot of protection in that lineup. So I think Nolan Arenado will offer some really nice protection for Paul Goldschmidt. I think he'll have a bounce back season, an amazing season next year in 2021. So this is definitely a great move for the Cardinals, and they probably be, like I said, become the favorites in the NL Central. I still kind of like the Brewers. I still kind of like the Cubs, and I don't know, the Reds could surprise us as well. But realistically, it's probably Cardinals are at the top of the division right now. Now, with that being said, what are the Colorado Rockies going to do with guys like German Marquez and Trevor Story? Trevor Story becomes a free agent next year and is going to be a part of one of the greatest free agent draft class, or free agent shortstop classes of all time. You have guys like Javier Baez, Francisco Lindor, Trevor Story, Carlos Correa. Corey Seager is also a very good free agent option coming up next year. Probably the Dodgers sign him in my opinion, but he is a free agent. There's definitely a chance he does leave the Dodgers. But a lot of these amazing, young, talented shortstops are going to be free agents next year, and Trevor Story is one of the biggest names. So if you trade him now, you probably can't get a whole lot back. He brings a $21 million price tag with him, but you will get first shot at signing him to a long-term deal. So if you're trading for Trevor Story, kind of like the Mets traded for Lindor when he's a free agent next year, you're planning on locking him down to a long-term deal. Now, with that being said, I know I talk about my Angels wanting a lot of pitching. German Marquez would be a beautiful addition to most teams. Any team that is probably out on Trevor Bauer right now, like the Blue Jays or the Angels or I know the Dodgers are looking for some more pitching. Even the Mets, if they don't go out and sign Bauer for some reason. A lot of teams could really use a guy like German Marquez. He has 1 more year of arbitration left, so he'll be a free agent in 2022. So you can sign him to a long-term deal. And obviously, he hasn't had amazing stats compared to other aces around the league, but he has pitched in Coors Field and maintained an ERA around or below 4, which is really hard to do in Coors Field. So it shows he has a lot of good stuff and has a lot of potential if they can get him out of Coors Field and into maybe a pitcher-friendly ballpark. So I think German Marquez tries a very high price tag, and Trevor Story could get you something in return as well. I think Trevor Story might even have a lower price tag than German Marquez, though, just because he's a free agent next year, and they're going to have to sign him to a long-term deal anyway. So in conclusion, the poor Rockies fans are just going to have a really bad situation for the next couple years, and that goes for every team in the NL West, the Giants, the Diamondbacks, and the Rockies. They all really have no shot, and they're guaranteed a few losses every year with the Dodgers and the Padres looking up for the next few years. So it's going to be a very interesting rebuild for the Colorado Rockies, see if they can get back into contention. It's been a while since we've seen them make a deep playoff run, so I feel for the Rockies fans out there, if they do exist. I'm sorry, I don't personally know any Rockies fans, so if you are a Rockies fan, hit me up in the comments. I want to meet you. I don't know any Rockies fans at the moment, though. I put on as much purple or the closest I could get to the Rockies colors today for this video, so thank you guys for watching, of course. There is one more thing to talk about, and that is Didi Gregorius signing a 2-year, $28 million deal with the Philadelphia Phillies, so he's going back to the Phillies. The Phillies have just realized they need to spend money if they want to contend in that NL East. I still don't think they are contenders, but I don't know. They could surprise us, maybe go out and make a move for a guy like German Marquez, like I was just talking about. So basically the Phillies are going into 2021 with the same roster they had in 2020. They re-signed JT Realmuto. They re-signed Didi Gregorius now. They did pick up Archie Bradley, which is a nice addition to that bullpen. They had a historically bad bullpen last year as well. So we'll see what the Phillies end up doing this next year. I don't really see them as a contender, but they're probably still a 4th place team, just with a few new shiny pieces. So they'll be fun to watch at least. They'll be the most fun 4th place team in all of baseball. Now, as I was about to leave to go edit this video, MLB The Show just announced that they are going to be announcing the cover athlete for MLB The Show 21 tomorrow on Hot Ones, the show where they eat spicy wings or whatever and interview players. So they're going to be interviewing the cover athlete for MLB The Show 21 on Hot Ones tomorrow. So we're gonna stay tuned for that announcement. I'll definitely have a video out to you guys about that tomorrow. Yeah, so ready to get excited about MLB The Show 21, get those pre-orders in, and I will be streaming so much of that. So if you don't already follow me on Twitch and aren't ready for that, get ready for some MLB The Show 21 content. I have the first MLB The Show 20 video dropping. I was gonna drop it tomorrow. Maybe I'll drop it tonight then. Stay tuned for that. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks again. That is the last bit of news I hope for this one, and I will see you guys next time.